Hi, this is James Warren here. I wanted to come in and do another view of the Dynamics Sales Qualification Agents. And the main reason for this is after going through the update for 2025 Wave 2, I went in and had a look at how they're configured, and there's actually quite a significant change. So as you'll see, if we come to the admin area here, we previously would go and configure in this area, where is where we would turn on the agents, and that's no longer available. So if you're looking for it, you'll see that we've got a new area where we've got the agent manager. And there's some videos around how this works, and you'll see we've got a sales qualification agent and an opportunity research agent. And the agents have different capabilities. So let's go in and have a look at how the agent manager works. I've come in and I've already set up one agent. So you'll see when you go create, it gives you two options. So there's the sales qualification agent and there's the opportunity research agent. So if you have one set up already, it will not let you set it up again. So you can only configure the agent to essentially do one thing, but you can have two agents with that different focus. So if I come into this area here, you'll see this has very similar set of layout as we had with the previous configuration. You need to have your configurations on, so using Bing search in your environment, and have server-side sync. If you're not aware of server-side sync, I think most of you would be. It's when you connect your Exchange and Dynamics environments. So you can set them up in here or accept the terms. Then you set up the agent profile, which is essentially just giving it a name. You're setting up your company, and in here you can put in your value proposition. This is helped to use as a basis for research. If you think of this as a prompt, it's probably a good place to start, and you'll see use Copilot to generate based on your website and paste it here. That's a good idea if you don't have something that you want to specifically go. Selection criteria. So you can come in here and do the configuration around making sure you focus on the right opportunities. So in this case, I've gone over to look for open, but you've got all of the configuration capability to really drill down on scenarios such as over a certain amount of value or in a particular region. Do remember that you only get to do this with one agent at the moment. So you do want to be broad enough that you get it, or if you don't want to be broad, if you're going to be specific, you're going to be focusing on just that particular one. The refresh frequency comes with some information around the licensing cost. So there is a pay-as-you-go option for Copilot in the background. And you'll see here, if we click on the manage capacity, we do come into the admin area where we're looking at the details of everything we can run here. And we've got some licensing capabilities we can run through and see what's been purchased and how much it's using up. So I've set that to medium, and you'll see it gives you a breakdown of what that actually means. Opportunity assessment. So this is where you can map key fields, point to the right ones that you want to use, and you can come in and set up the monetary value and estimated close date. And finally, the knowledge, which is setting up the insights for how you get the information. So you'll see knowledge sources for insight. The agent uses an open web by default to gain insights. You can add knowledge sources to Copilot Studio. So that's if you want to go in and say, check out these specific sites. This is industry knowledge. These are things that you should know when you're going and looking for this information. And competitor insights is the same sort of thing. You can go in and put in competitor details, and it will go and look at those. And you'll see up to 3. Knowledge sources for insight. You'll see here upload slide decks or documents, battle cards, so that when it's doing that comparison, it will come back with that specific focus that you're talking about. So what does this look like? Well, please understand that this is a trial environment. So I do not have live customers in there that are going to give me information. So we can come into an open lead, and you'll see when that runs, what it's going to do is in the background, it will basically run those Copilot agents. and we will get a pop-up in a moment, which is generating the summary. So you'll see when the summary is generated, you've also got the option to see full summary. And rather than just doing a drop-down like we'd normally get, this actually goes and uses Copilot to create that information. So it'll give you key insights. And as we've added those things about competitors, industry knowledge, or everything like that, you will get a fuller, deeper, richer version of this. And it's on this page here. And you'll see when you unlock the sales qualification agent, this is the research agent, this is where it will suggest you messages to send to your clients. It will actually try and do the proactive approach for you to not only understand what's going on with the client, but also what step to take next based on how you've configured it. So you'll see here, this works on leads and it also works on opportunities. We have that same option here once we've got that opportunity summary to drill down to the deeper insights. And you can see key signals and things that don't show up because we don't have the proper components configured, but we get the insights that are available. So the richer you've populated that stuff in the background, the richer this opportunity research will be. And we'll just jump back now and take a look at this new different capability. So if we come in here and we go and create the agents, and in this time we go into the sales qualification agent, you'll see this has actually got quite a more complex setup. So we can say we want it to just be research or we want it to be research and engage. That means you'll see here it'll send personalized emails to leads, follow up and respond to customer questions. So it's turning that proactive engagement into something that Copilot will manage. And you'll see it can't be undone once you've done it. So that's interesting. Now, this is where we've got to go in and configure some things. We're going to tick these as all being done and quickly run through them. So configure server-side sync. We need to create an app user in the Dataverse, and you'll see all of these links take you to where you can set them up. So I will just click on this. We've got to create a shared mailbox and create an app in Azure. So we can come in here and it will take us to Azure. And this does require you having the right level user to be able to trigger these things. And you come in here and create the app. Once you've done that, I'm not going to be able to do this live. You'll see we've got a very similar layout to what we had before, but this is where you get a lot more specific. So you give the agent a name, you give it a prompt, what it should do. Then you select from that app you've created before. You can put in your signature and you'll see you can modify the signature as well. You can put in an AI disclaimer and any other terms you want. So it will generate those emails to that level of hopefully the compliance that you're looking for. We've now got where you put in your company name and website, similar to what we had before. You can now put in some detail about your products. So once again, very much similar to prompting, making sure you've got the information that it's going to use. The selection criteria, this is where you can set up your segment. So like we had in the last one, you set it up to be quite specific, and you'll see you can actually, once you've configured that, you can actually preview the leads that would come through based on that criteria. So you're not just stuck on having a guess, and if it works, you can actually do some testing. Now, this is where you get to essentially set up your compliance regulations rather than just the ones that Microsoft are asking you to do. This is where you can set up your own, and you can find information about that person if there's anything going on just generally in the news. And then you can personalize email based on key fields from the lead. So you get to choose which of your environmental fields are the ones that are important to you to be able to personalize it. We just validate on a particular email address in the system what criteria it needs to hand off to an individual. So when does this go from being an agent-led component to handing it off to an individual? And you'll see we fill in a number of different things here. So what are the industries you're targeting? Where is that information stored? What's the typical employee size? And you'll see as we're going through these, it does ask us, where do we keep this information? Which is a good thing to point out, that if you're not keeping this information, you're not going to get the system to be able to sort of get its head around that concept. So you'll see we can get rid of these things here. And as we scroll down to the bottom, we can actually create new custom categories for us to manage in there as well. So that is the handoff criteria. The assignment rules, who do we give it to? So the members of your team and any supervisors, or you can sell it to an individual or a team. Going down to research, similar to what we had before, is it going out and looking on the internet? How to manage outreach emails that are sent to leads. Build trust in outreach emails using social proof like testimonials and case study, knowledge sources in Copilot Studio. A lot of the capabilities are managed from inside Copilot Studio. So this will show up time and time again if you're working with Dynamics in the Power Platform, and you'll see you can add your knowledge source there. Now, just worth looking at, knowledge sources can be drag and drop files. You can point them to public websites, your internal SharePoint, the Dataverse, and other systems. So you're not limited just to the basics knowledge base in Dynamics, and you'll see there's even more advanced ones, and you can even run it and see some suggestions of what knowledge sources have recently been added to your Copilot environment. So just be aware that that's quite an open field for you to be able to work through there. So those are outreach emails, and you can do a similar thing with follow-up emails. And then we're going to have to stop it there because I have not actually gone through and configured it, but it's just worth understanding the difference between the sales qualification agent when it is engaging or just researching, or just the research agent on its own. So those are two different agents that are now part of the Dynamics Sales Enterprise license, and they are, configured differently from how they used to be. So please be aware of that, and I'd love to see what new agents Microsoft are going to make available to us in the future.